But you can imagine that it was close quarter. Oh.
Well, I think there's been a signal. They've all set up now.
So they probably are going out to find out where the English, if in fact the English are coming from.
Yeah, they're cantering towards us here now. A fine spectacle it is too.
It's probably the only managed to get them out of the
last horse is having, the rider is having some difficulties, I think. There they go. And the English are drawn up away to the right if you look over there.
Here we have.
They're coming back very fast.
So we've obviously got the situation where the outriders from the Irish have actually come across the English army and are now telling the commander that the English are approaching. So we should see some very rapid reaction from the garrison force here. We can now see Inchkin's cavalry approaching. We now have a situation where we have the Irish horse going out to meet. And we now have notice on the far side, the outworks. They've obviously noticed the English forces and are now making ready to make it as difficult for them as possible to advance. So we now have horse against horse. So we have the cavalry, and they've broken through. So Inchkin's cavalry have broken through. We now get response from the garrison itself. That was Bella and Donna.
Oh, splendid, two splendid women. Large-eyed, obviously.
The defenders are actually defending quite hard there, forcing the horse back. They've not actually broken through yet. We now see the army garrison actually moving out. We have a block of pike, and they're actually carrying the Irish colours. So they're actually going out to actually meet the advancing English.
They're going to take them on, in other words.
It would appear to be. And we hear the drums of the Irish doing the march. We have a skirmish line of musket, followed by a block of pike.
And the advance party, they're going farther and farther towards the right there.
Yeah. The forlorn hope, as they were used to call. Obviously providing as much front cover as possible. We now see the standards of the English army advancing. The Irish horse retreating behind their lines. As you can see, we've now got a deployment of musket across the field, supported on the left by a block of pike.
And there's the most unlikely combatant arrived. Might belong to the Duhallas. He thinks it's a Tuesday, he should be out maybe. And there seems to be a total engagement about to take place. Now the horse are here, and the other troops are advancing. The English are advancing now.
We now have two engagements. We now have the Irish horse being chased by the English horse, and we can see the main body of the Irish pike actually pushing a point of pike into the English army. You will see that they are then supported from the rear by two blocks of musket. The English musket is now feeded out to the right-hand side to oppose the left flank of the Irish army. The Irish horse seems to be getting the worst of the wear in their encounter with the English horse. A bit of eyeball to eyeball stuff for the crowd down in the far left-hand corner.
Known as a knife through butter there.
So this is the part of the battle where you've got to decide yourself which part you're actually looking at, because battles are battles, and we will now see that things are happening in all parts of the field. We've got the horse engagement down here with the crowd. We can see that we've now got pike against pike on the far right hand side, and we've got individual musket blocks eyeing themselves up to take out an opposition musket block. We can see some definite movement now in the fact that the English forces have split into two distinct areas. We can see a block of musket actually moving around on the right flank. The English pike seem to be holding the Irish pike, but I'm a bit more concerned about the horse on the far right hand side, because it's leaving the poor musket block in the middle very exposed to a potential attack from the Irish horse. And we've now got hand-to-hand combat. I think that might be the Jacobeans, but I might be wrong.
Are these the local troops?
I think so, and I think if that's the case, they've changed sides.
That wouldn't be unknown in those days. Nowadays, in fact, to change sides, very common practice.
Unlike events back in the UK, a lot of the horses that we use are very used to working in these environments. The horses that we've got for this engagement, in fact, it's the first time that they've actually been out in an environment like this, so they've performed very well today, and I'm sure that the riders tonight will have a few stories to tell as well.
They're loading up the big guns, I see.
Yes, the English artillery is now in position, so that actual engagement between the English and the Irish actually allowed them time to move up their heavy artillery, so we could now see a fairly lengthy bombardment.
And the flags are adopting the same pattern of waving.
Yeah, you will see the ensigns waving their standards. Basically, this is a sign of hello, we're here, we're brave, we're ready to come and get you. So the actual waving of the colours is of a means of saying, I don't fear you, I'm here, I'm stronger than you. And we also see that the Irish pike now are coming out to meet the English army. As you will see, you've got the pike block have actually formed a defensive wall against the cavalry. You've got the drummers drumming consistently, telling the soldiers to stay in that position. And we can see now a mass engagement on the front flank. Pike against pike. We now have the two musket blocks looking to engage each other. Now you see that the Irish are actually fleeing back behind the castle walls.
That's an Irish army, all right, yeah.
They're being pursued heavily. The Irish horses split. We have an Irish dragoon or musket block coming out to face the English on the far left-hand corner. And the Irish and the English horse seem to be fighting their own individual battle, running across the field.
It's a matter of picking our battle and watching it at this stage, I think.